Buenos dias from Guanajuato, Mexico. Today we're going to a bit of an unusual museum. This is called the Museum of the Mummies of Guanajuato. Yes, mummies in Mexico. Apparently these are naturally preserved mummies. We're going to learn a little bit more about why they're here. It's a pretty unexpected thing to see while in Mexico, but apparently it happens in a few different places around the country. So let's see how this happens. Jamie from the future here. Just a warning, this might be a little bit disturbing. So if you don't want to see dead bodies, do not watch this video. So what I had read is that at the time the city of Guanajuato had a tax on perpetual burial. So the family had to continually pay a tax in order to keep their loved ones deterred in their graves, and if they stopped paying the tax, the bodies would be exhumed and placed in a tomb within the city somewhere, and that's where the majority of these mummies have come from. So this guy, they know who it is. So he had died in 1860 and was exhumed 5 years later. I didn't realize it, but this actual building is the building that they originally removed the bodies and put them in. They just used to be like propped up against the walls, I guess. And it was converted into a museum, I think I read in 1965 or something like that. This is interesting. It says on this plaque here that she is the only one with her original coffin, even though she is one of the oldest. This is Juan Jaramillo, who died in 1903 and was exhumed in 1910, and is apparently the best preserved mummy here in terms of the state of his skin. And he apparently went around to different museums, a traveling exhibition at the time. So this lady was exhumed in 1973. I'm a little bit surprised that they were still doing that late. This one has a stab wound. He was apparently murdered in 1940. This is apparently how they were originally stored.
This particular section is like a theme park.
This is quite weird.
Is he in like an Iron Maiden with fake cobwebs and stuff?
They're like Halloween-y, this place.
Is that a fetus in a bird cage?
I really hope that's not real. This is very odd.
This went from an interesting historical, cultural anomaly to a funhouse.
Yeah. Like, I feel like this is the point where it becomes really disrespectful.
Yeah. There's a fake little spider in there.
Like, what?
Oh my god, look at that thing.
What the heck?
The last question before we came in here on the wall, I don't know if you before you could have said, how would you like to be remembered? And then you enter into this section. Not like this, anyway.
Yeah.
It was a deep philosophical question. And then you come into this.
I mean, I think maybe people shouldn't take their deaths so seriously. But then again, so this photo was taken here back when it was used differently. So this is like a replica, for sure, of a different one that we've already seen in the museum, which I do feel a little bit better realizing that the ones in this second section are not the actual corpses. Well, like I said before, I think that is definitely the weirdest museum I have ever been to anywhere. And we have been to some weird ones in Thailand. Remember that?
I was thinking about like
The medical
death
formaldehyde
or something.
museum in Bangkok. Anyway, this was weirder than that, I maintain. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, the big thing about this one is it was kind of government forced. Like, for the government to take your dead relative's body because you didn't pay a tax. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty extreme for
that's
taxation.
extreme tyranny,
Like,
that is.
Yeah. I was really back and forth about whether I was going to make a video about this museum because, I mean, these are deceased people that still have family in the area, some of them. So I can imagine it could be a disrespectful thing. But on the other hand, this is a very popular museum. I think this is one of the top sites of things to see in Guanajuato. If they didn't want people to see it, they wouldn't have a museum about it. So that's what I determined. I'm not sure what the general public opinion is about this museum, but I'm guessing that it's supportive because this is the way that they advertise the museum. Also, Mexican culture has never been one to shy away from the concept of death. Obviously, there's the very famous Day of the Dead celebration, among other things. But there was also a movie back in the 70s featuring the famous luchador El Santo, and he was in a movie called El Santo versus the Mummies of Guanajuato. So something tells me that it's a point of pride in this area. And then also, I like to challenge my discomfort around death. I think a lot of people treat it as quite a big taboo. I also like to challenge my comfort zone in that fact as well.
Maybe just in general, just challenging cultural norms. You know, some people are so sensitive about death. And a lot of people have personal reasons first.
To the point of denial sometimes.
Yeah, you can't even talk about death.
Yeah.
It's like very much the only guarantee in life.
There was a section in there that I did not show in the video because I thought maybe it was going a bit too far with being disturbing, but there was a part where there were mummified infants, and in that section they also had like portraits of local people taking photos with their dead infants. So again, it's about challenging what is a cultural norm was also very normal 150 years ago, but when the time of these exhumations were taking place. That being said, the second part of that museum, I definitely think was not in good taste. They tried to make it into some sort of like scary fun house, which like is very bizarre. Like it went from like an educational, respectful environment to like, I don't know, the complete opposite, I thought. I'm really happy that we are able to see that museum. I think it's a really unique thing to be able to see natural mummification, and gives us a bit of connection to people who lived and died 150 years ago. We don't often get an opportunity like that. So another unique thing about the museum, it said that they have the world's smallest human mummy, and it was a 5-month-old gestation fetus. So that was really a unique thing to see there as well.